Hi students, welcome you all to ABC Economics channel. Right now we have been dealing with class 11. Class 12 is kept on a hold for a while. We have already uploaded two videos. One dealt with the syllabus and the second one dealt with a few basic concepts of class 11 economics. Now this is in continuation to the previous video. The topic remains same, introduction and collection of data. The subtopic is collection of data. See, what is collection of data? When you collect the data by different ways, basically that is known as collection of data. This particular topic covers sources of data, that means where from you get the required data, and second is how do you collect them, that is methods of collecting data. Basically there are two issues which we are going to discuss of particularly for this topic, that is sources of data, where from you get the data which you basically require, and methods of collection of data. How would you go about in collecting the relevant data or required data? So these two are the basic concepts of the beginning of collection of data topic. So there are two sources of collection of data. From two sources one can collect the data. Number one, primary source. So what is that primary source? It implies collection of data from its source of origin. Primary source means the data where we get from the origin, where it all started off or where it took birth. From there we collect the data, and that is why it is known as primary data, and it is the source of origin. We go to the origin and we collect, and that data is collected, and that is known as primary source, and it offers first-hand information relating to your statistical study. Whatever statistical study you are doing, this primary source will give you the first-hand information. So basically you can say there is no kind of manipulation or reliability. Rather, reliability is more because you are collecting the required data from the source of origin. It gives you the first-hand information. Now secondary source, it implies collection of data from some agency or institution. So when you want to collect the data from secondary source, there are two sources basically. One is primary source, secondary source. When you talk about secondary source, you collect the data from an agency or an institution which already happens to have collected the data and kept it for future reference. So you go to them and collect the data. That is the secondary source, and you need not go to the origin of the data. You simply go to an institution or an agency and collect the required data, and that is known as secondary source. Okay. Now primary source of collecting data is known as primary data. The data which we collect from primary source is known as primary data, and the data which we collect from secondary source is known as secondary data. Now what is the difference between primary source and secondary source? Both give us data, no doubt about it, but there is a difference between both the sources. So what are rather those differences? Number one, difference in originality. It is believed and it is proved as well that the data which we collect from primary source is original. because we get the data from the source or from the area of origin. So obviously this type of data, the data which we collect from primary source, is original, but when you compare with the secondary source, you can't say that it is quite original, because there may be a manipulation or there may be a misinterpretation, or because you have not yourself collected, somebody else has collected. So there is always a doubt of originality. So that is the basic difference between primary source and secondary source. There is a difference of originality, difference in rather originality. Second is difference in objective. When you collect the data from the primary source as an individual investigator, you have your own objective. Okay, you have your own objective, and you collect the data from the primary source. Whereas when you talk about secondary source, the objective changes. So it may be an objective which is kept in mind for the people as a whole, or for an institution as a whole. So the objective differs. When you collect the data from the primary source, it is purely of your own, and when you collect the data from the secondary source, it's a kind of wider perspective, in wider scope. So that is the basic difference. Now, difference in cost of collection. Obviously, when you try to collect the data from primary source, it becomes a bit costly, because there are a lot of exercises you need to do in order to collect the data from the primary source. You need to go to the place where from you can think that you will get the original data, and in that process, you find that it's a bit costly. Whereas in secondary source, there is no much of cost involved, because somebody has collected it, and you simply need to go to him or that particular institution or agency and get the information or get the data. So there is a big difference between these two in as far as the cost is concerned. When you go for primary source of data, so naturally you have to pay a bit more, and when you try to get the data from secondary source, obviously the cost is less. So these are the basic differences between primary source and secondary source. As we discussed, the data which we collect from primary source is known as primary data, and the data which we collect from secondary source is known as secondary data. Now, there are methods by which we can collect the primary data. Means the data which we collect from primary source is known as primary data. So there are certain methods by which we can collect the primary data. So what are those methods? The first method is a direct personal investigation. In this, the investigator goes to the person concerned, collects the required data from him directly. He himself, the investigator himself, goes to the person from whom he wants to collect the data, and he collects the data and he keeps a record. That's one method. Direct personal investigation. Straight away, the investigator goes to the person and inquires and gets the information. Second is indirect oral investigation. In this, the investigator rather, doesn't go to the person concerned to inquire or to collect the data. Rather, he will find out somebody else who is expected to have the complete knowledge of the person from whom you want to collect the data, and you talk to them or him and collect the data for the person whom you want to gather the information. Indirect oral investigation. You are not going to the person concerned, rather you are going to somebody else who is expected to have the complete idea about the person, and then you collect the data from him. That is indirect oral investigation. Now, information from local sources or correspondents. You need not go to anybody. You rather engage somebody in that particular area or in that particular locality, and you get all information from that source or from that correspondent whom you have appointed. So neither you have to go to the person concerned directly, nor you have to collect the information from somebody else. Rather, you identify some correspondent or some source locally, and then you hand over or engage that correspondent to collect the data, and finally the data will come to you. That is information from local sources or correspondent. Information through questionnaire and schedule. So sometimes there is another method called information through questionnaire. The investigator prepares a questionnaire in which all relevant questions are listed, and the questionnaire is sent by mail to the person concerned. He gives the entire information in that questionnaire and sends the questionnaire back to the investigator. Okay, and that is known as information through questionnaire. It has two parts. One is mailing, as I said, prepare a questionnaire, send to the person through mail or by post, and the person concerned will give all the answers written in that questionnaire and will send you back, and thus you are having the information with you. Another is enumerator's method. Enumerator's method means carrying the questionnaire, the enumerator himself goes to the person and asks the questions written in the questionnaire and collects the required information and get the entire data what he basically requires. Then fifth is telephonic interview. Okay. Sometimes neither you have to mail a questionnaire nor enumerator need to go to the party. Rather, another method is available, that is telephonic interview. Straight away you can make a call to the person and gather the information you require. He will say what all you require, and that way also you can collect the information. So basically there are 5 methods. One is direct personal investigation, second is indirect oral investigation, third is information from local sources or correspondent, fourth is information through questionnaire, fifth is mailing, it is rather the parts of fourth, information through questionnaire and schedule, mailing surveys you can write, and then enumerator's method. And lastly, that is fifth one, is telephonic interview, in which you can make a call to the person from whom you want the information, and he will give you the information, and that will be enough for your statistical survey or statistical study. Okay, so this is how you collect the primary data. By adopting any one of the means, you can collect the primary data. So when we discuss the methods of collection of data, so we discussed around 5 methods, and one method needs a little more explanation, and that is questionnaire method. Okay, so when you prepare a questionnaire, certain things you need to keep in mind, because you will list a number of questions in the questionnaire, and while preparing the questionnaire one must keep in mind the following basic things. The first one is, the questions in the questionnaire should be very simple and to the point, relevant. Relevant in the sense, relevant to your statistical study. Questions should be to the point. You should not deviate the questions from the main objective or main topic. You should not ask any personal question. Okay. Then questions should not be based on religion or any seeking the personal opinion on religion or something like that. Whatever your statistical study requires, that much only you should ask. We should not go beyond that. Questionnaire should be logical. Okay, logical in the sense, first obviously we write the name of the student, and last some point is there. Instead, last point you cannot keep in the first point and first is last. No, like that. So there should be a logical order of all the questions. So the main concern while preparing the questionnaire is that the questionnaire should be a decent one, simple one, to the point, and the answer should not be lengthy. It should be either with yes or no, or agree or disagree, and there should be logically put in order, and no irrelevant questions. Don't go beyond the statistical study. You should not ask personal questions. So the bottom line is that your questionnaire should not disturb the others, and because if it disturbs others, then they will not send you back the questionnaire, or they will not answer your questionnaire. Okay. So I am here trying to give you an simple, rather an example of an ideal questionnaire, a sample of an ideal questionnaire. The ideal questionnaire should be like this. Suppose say you are asked by your economics teacher to find out the monthly income and expenditure of students living in a particular college. Okay, so obviously you thought that I will adopt the questionnaire method instead of going to them, instead of personal, direct personal, or indirect oral, or all these methods. Instead of doing all that, I will adopt questionnaire method. I will send the questionnaire to the students, they will answer, and then I will collect the data, and the data collected will be presented to my economics teacher. So you have adopted the method questionnaire method. So while preparing the question, you should, I already explained basic points you need to keep in mind, and the questionnaire should be like this. So we are collecting the information of monthly income and expenditure of students living in hostels. Okay, so first obviously you will write student's name, age, faculty, name of the college, father's name and address, then father's occupation and income, then father's occupation and income. After that, income from other family members as well. Suppose if you have uncles and maternal uncles and all, if they are living in same family, in one family, and what suppose if they have that source as well. So income from family members, if such a situation is there. Then monthly income received by the students. So student, what type of monthly income he receives? He receives from family. He works up, suppose a personal earning. Suppose a student is doing a part-time job, so it is his personal earning. Then scholarship, if at all a student is getting scholarship. So these are the sources where from a student is expected to get the monthly income. So monthly income received by the students. Then monthly expenditure. Obviously, after income, it comes expenditure. Student needs to spend money, and he spends money on fees, on hostel, on books, on entertainment. So what are the areas where he spends the money, and what are the areas where from he gets the income? So these are the 2 points. Then finally one question can be given: is your monthly income enough? If yes, he will write yes. If no, he or she will write no. And then lastly, can you save something or anything from your income? Out of this income, after meeting all the expenditures, are you able to save some money or not? If it is yes and no, or relevant, etc. It's not that these are the only questions you need to ask. If you feel some more questions you can ask, so you can ask. So basically the outline of our questionnaire should be like this. Okay, so this is one basic method, or rather one of the methods of collecting primary data. So you can adopt, and while adopting this method, while following this method, the questionnaire can be prepared like this. So I have given a sample of questionnaire. Okay, hope my video will help you to understand the topic collection of data, and any question coming from that collection of data you can easily answer. Now one thing I must say, that those 5 methods of collection of data, like direct personal investigation or indirect oral investigation, there are 5 methods, right? So in those 5 methods there may be some questions related to that. For example, what are the merits and demerits of personal investigation method? What are the demerits of mailing method? What are the merits of indirect oral investigation? Okay, such supplementary, or you can say questions, relevant questions can be there, that I hope you can easily answer. Once you have come to know the concepts of all the methods, then easily you can write the merits and demerits of those methods. Those questions can be expected. Okay, with this I sign off. We will meet in the next video, and there we will go ahead with organization of data. So collection of data is over. Now we will go with organization of data in my next video. Till then, have a nice days ahead, and stay safe. Hope you will find very easy, and you will subscribe my channel, and so that you can understand the concepts very easily. As far as my own view is concerned, I tried my best way to make it very lucid and effective. So enjoy, and economics is not at all easy, as I always say, only provided you understand the concepts, and for that I am there to help you. Till then, goodbye, take care.